Why is the 1904 Olympic Marathon considered the most dangerous sporting event in modern history? In the annals of athletic competition, the 1904 race in St. Louis stands as a stark example of poor planning and disregard for human safety. Organized as part of the World's Fair, the event was intended to showcase American greatness. Instead, it became a display of near-fatal exhaustion, medical malpractice, and bizarre circumstances. Because of the organizers' desire to test human limits, the conditions were deliberately made difficult. The resulting chaos provides a grim look at early 20th century sportsmanship. Understanding this event reveals how far athletic standards have come in protecting human life. The primary cause of the disaster was the environment itself. The race took place in the middle of a Missouri summer, with temperatures soaring to nearly 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The humidity was oppressive, yet this was only the beginning of the runners' trials. The course was not designed for safety. It consisted of dusty, unpaved roads used by local traffic. As the runners progressed, they were forced to navigate up and down 7 steep hills. Adding to this difficulty, cars and delivery wagons drove alongside the athletes. Massive clouds of dust were kicked into the air. The runners had to inhale this debris, which coated their lungs and restricted their breathing. Most critically, the chief organizer wanted to conduct an experiment on purposeful dehydration. He believed that limiting water intake would test the athletes' resilience. Consequently, there was only one water station on the entire course. As a result, many participants began to suffer from severe dehydration and heat exhaustion within the first few miles. This deliberate deprivation turned a sporting event into a dangerous physiological experiment. The roster of athletes contributed further to the chaotic nature of the day. While some were experienced marathoners, many were entirely unprepared for such a grueling test. These stories illustrate that the marathon was less a professional race and more a haphazard gathering of individuals facing extreme survival challenges. He arrived wearing heavy street clothes and boots. Having lost his money along the way, he had no athletic gear. Moments before the race, a fellow competitor cut his trousers into makeshift shorts. Despite this, Carvajal ran well until hunger overtook him. He stopped to eat apples from an orchard. Unfortunately, the fruit was rotten. Severe stomach cramps forced him to rest by the roadside. Also present were Len Tauniani and Jan Masciani from South Africa. Regardless, the incident highlighted the lack of monitoring and regulation in early Olympic competition. This is best exemplified by the story of Fred Laws. Early in the race, Laws succumbed to cramps. Unable to continue, he boarded a trailing automobile. When the car broke down near the stadium, he decided to jog the remaining distance. Entering the stadium, he broke the finish tape to roaring cheers. Officials even prepared to award him the gold medal. The truth emerged only when witnesses revealed he had ridden part of the course. Laws later claimed it was merely a practical joke. While Laws was disqualified, the true winner endured a far more disturbing ordeal. By the 10-mile mark, Thomas Hicks was on the verge of collapse. Instead of allowing him to stop, his handlers administered a mixture of egg whites and strychnine. Strychnine is a potent poison. In small doses, it acts as a stimulant, but it is highly toxic. As the race continued, Hicks began to hallucinate and lose control of his body. His handlers gave him a second dose, along with brandy. By the time he reached the stadium, he was physically incapable of running. He was effectively carried across the finish line, his feet barely moving. He had lost significant weight and was near death. Doctors required hours to stabilize him. Today, such actions would be considered severe abuse and doping. In 1904, it was viewed as scientific assistance. The 1904 Olympic Marathon remains a cautionary tale. Only 14 of the 32 starters finished. The event was defined by dangerous conditions, poor preparation, and life-threatening medical decisions. It stands as a reminder of why modern sports prioritize safety, integrity, and respect for human limits.